as we have everything balanced and we are just touching up things that we want to make a little bit better, I want to talk about this particular tool right here. This is what Lightroom calls the masking tool, and within it now we have these new subject detection masks. So right away, when there's a person in the photo that Lightroom recognizes, you see here that it comes up with automatically who the people are. So a couple of things that you need to know about this tool and how it works. You can select the subject, the sky, the background, and then you can make adjustments to your selection using these items here: linear gradient, radial gradient. You can brush in and out things, or you can select a color range. And they work very, very well, and if you understand how masking works, it's even better, but not absolutely essential because Lightroom's made it super easy. So for instance, with this one, we can select our subject just by clicking subject, and it's only red because it's showing me what my selection is. We can also select the background by saying create new mask background, and it'll select the background. Or if we've already selected our subject, we can click on these three little dots right here and can say duplicate, and invert mask. It's going to make another one that is the opposite of what it selected the first time. And with just a couple clicks, you have a separated selection of your subject and your background. Now, we'll talk about what we can do with that in just a minute. But for instance, with this one here, just to show you how the sky feature works, so I can select sky, and it will detect, oh, hey, there's my sky right there. A couple of things that you need to note is that the selection it makes has very harsh edges. It doesn't blend into subjects. It selects what it sees, and that's it. So this is very useful when you have something clear cut, like a face, where it's like, oh, hey, select the subject, and it'll do a really good job. It even does a very good job, but not perfect job, of the hair. Like you see here, some of that selection is bleeding into the background. So it does a good job, but not a great job. And all that means is that when we're making adjustments with it, we have to be careful about our edges and careful how much we use the effect. If we overuse it, it looks processed and it looks fake, and so we don't want to do that. My goal in editing is always to enhance the image without making it look fake. So I want to enhance reality, but not so far that it becomes not reality. For instance, very quickly I can say with a sky, I can turn it pink and say, okay, well, that's not real. There's a point at which our mind says real, not real, and we want to stay inside of real, but we also want it to look beautiful. So I want to take a look at a few of the different applications for it and how it works into our workflow. So number one, we've got our culling first, then we've got our applicator, then we sort by lighting scene, and then we apply our presets, then we color balance to white balance and exposure, and then we make any local adjustments that we want to make. And this is one of the local adjustments that we can make. So let's go through a few examples, starting with a non-person subject, in this case a dress. Nice photo, I'm happy with it, it's straight, it's lovely, but we can enhance it a little bit, and this will show you a little bit of the flexibility that you have. So I'm going to select an object in this case because it's not going to detect a face, so I want to select this object. Lightroom will detect that object. Oh, hey, my goodness, that did a wonderful job. And then I'm going to duplicate and invert the mask so that I can work on the background. Now, I can reveal everything, or I can hide everything. There's so much flexibility that we have in this that it's almost scary, the control that we have now. So let's say that I want to do that, and I want to bring the dress out a little bit. So I'm going to make that a little cooler, and I'm going to drop my saturation just a little bit. Bump up my whites so that the light's coming through that window a little bit more. And then now I'm going to select the dress itself. Anytime you hover over this box, it's going to show you what the selection is you're dealing with. So I'm going to select that mask. I'm going to desaturate that a little bit because a dress isn't yellow. Typically, it might be a pearl color, but it's not yellow. And I want to bump up the clarity on that a little bit, and the whites I'm going to bump up just a little bit. Now, what to edit, how to know what to look for, we cover that in depth in our muscle building course and our photo editing course, and how to decide what to edit and how to do it in a quick manner. When I synchronize these, so you can synchronize the masks to different images, and if I synchronize the mask to this one, because I made the selection myself, it doesn't work very well. So if I look at my mask, my subject mask is not supposed to be the door frame. However, I can by clicking on the mask button, I can add an object, and I can go like that, and it's going to detect that object and add it to what I've already done. Okay, so you can add, remove easily from any mask that you create. If I wanted to subtract, I could just take a brush and decide what I wasn't. Oh, hey, magic. Let's go like that. And now it's not adjusting those features. So you have a significant amount of control with what you're doing with these masks. All I say is be careful not to make it over-processed. Be careful not to make it look fake. Okay, one other object. This flower. I appear to have. This one was giving me trouble earlier. I'm going to okay. One other object that we can deal with, or that we can play with. I want to select a subject in this one because it's obvious that the flowers are the subject, and Lightroom knows that, so it's going to give me a lovely mask on that. I'm going to duplicate and invert, and I'm going to make the background the opposite color of the flowers, which in turn will enhance the flowers themselves and make them appear brighter. So just with a couple of clicks, just cleaning up my background. Where'd it go? I lost it. Don't touch the wrong button while talking into the microphone. I can make significant adjustments just by doing that. Of course, I can bump up my flowers if I want to, but here's the cool thing. For like images, we can synchronize, Command-Shift-S, choose the masking, synchronize to that other image, and it becomes like the first. So the changes that you make on the one are equal to the changes that you made on the other, which is really, really cool, especially if you have a bunch of images together. Okay, so for instance, something like this. I like it, but I would like to make my background a little bit less yellow. So I open up the mask tool. I will select my subject, which it gives me very cleanly. This is an excellent example of how good it can be. I'm going to invert and make my background a little bit less yellow. Actually, that makes me want to also tone him down just a touch to get his skin tones just right. And very quickly, I have enhanced this image a little bit further to the point where I am happier. I mean, I like being happier. I can even darken that down a little bit and really bring him out. Now I'm happy. Ooh, I really like that. Oh, what's going on there? See, we can play to the point of crazy. Look at that. We can even change it to blue or green, or if I wanted him in a blue room. Now he's in a blue room. But there again, oh yeah, here's a good note. With whatever adjustment that you make, which this is an ugly one, but whatever adjustment you make, you can adjust the amount that you want that applied or not applied. So I want just a little touch of it, I can. If I want double the effect, I can. We're going to get rid of that hue, though. There we go. Then, when we want to synchronize that to the other like photos, guess what? We synchronize the mask. It processes what we want to do. And magically, they are now all adjusted. Very, very cool. Okay, same kind of thing here. In this case, I'm going to select my background only. So I'm going to press the three buttons and say invert. So I want that to be the rest of the image. And I'm going to turn this into a blue background. And I'm going to bring my whites down just a little bit. Bring my mask saturation up a little bit more, and just like that, I've gone from same color background to a contrasted color background. Oh, and look at this. If I synchronize that to the next image, then they all have blue backgrounds. Look at that. She was getting ready in a blue room. Being able to separate the subject and the sky is just wonderful. So if I want to brighten them up a little bit without affecting the clouds behind, maybe warm them up, get their skin tones changed just a touch, and then on the background I would like my whites up but my overall exposure down. Then I can bump my saturation up a little bit, and with just a few clicks I can go from here to here, keeping my subject to be the focal point and looking good while enhancing the background. And just for fun, I can synchronize the mask on all of these ones. And again, Lightroom takes a minute to do this, but it's doing the work for you. I really like when Lightroom does the work for me, because then I don't have to do it. And it's certainly to taste. If you want it less blue or more blue or a different color altogether, you can do that. You have that, that ability. It's also very good at selecting out larger groups. It will pick out all of the subjects. Now, this is where I mean here that you got to be careful with the adjustment. So if I make too many changes, then this masking area here is going to show, and we don't want it to do that. So I'm going to duplicate and invert. I'm going to darken down the background. I'm going to tone it there, and I'm going to desaturate it just a little bit. And then on my subject, I'm going to bring their whites down just a little bit. And with a few clicks, I have brought it to be just a little bit nicer. If I can get the button to stop moving, that'd be great. You can also color tone your images in there as well. So one other one that I want, actually there's two other ones that I want to cover. This one here, let's say that I wanted to go to a black and white. So I'm going to turn this to a black and white. I'm going to select my subject, and I'm going to select his background, and I'm going to bring the background up quite a bit. And then on him, I'm going to brighten him up a little bit, bring his blacks down, and with just a couple of adjustments, I'm improving him immensely. Then, let's say I've got a bunch of speeches at the same general time of day. I can synchronize that, synchronize all of it to all of them. Match the exposure with match total exposure, and now they are all similar. Nice eyes. and there. Okay. That was another one that I was just playing around with just a few clicks. And then I want to show you this one here. So this is shot with a rim light, and it's got a rim flash behind them during their first dance. I like the image. Let's make it pop a little bit more. Select our subject. Make our background as well. And I'm going to start with the background because I'm pretty happy with how they are at the moment. Put my saturation up, give it some more interest. Let's go that way a little bit. Okay, and then my subject, I'm going to turn them just a little bit like so. Just looking for skin tones. Bring their highlights up just a little bit. Then, in the hue saturation, I'm going to bring, so my dress was there, so I'm going to bring that red luminance down quite a bit, and saturation up a little bit. And an interesting little note is that in the raw settings, you've got red and orange, which you don't have in the JPEG settings. Orange basically corresponds with skin tones, and so if I brighten up the luminance of their skin tones just a little bit, that's going to bring that back there. So we came from just with the masking tools to there, which is very nice. If you want to go right back to the beginning, it's there to there. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm really happy with the masking tools as they are in Lightroom now. I'm gonna just for fun. It's all for fun. I love this. I'm gonna add a little gradient up here, darken that down a little bit, and maybe one more. Let's do a radial right here, just to bring a little bit of detail back into the dress, or into the suit. There we go. And if you have a hotspot, I can select an object here like this, and then bring the highlight down on that just a little bit. And in that case, the saturation down a little bit, because as I brought the highlight down, it brought out some strange color. So there you go. And our before and after being there and there. So wonderful tools that we have within Lightroom. Use this on top of all of your other editing techniques to enhance your subjects just a little bit further. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know.